Assalamualaikum Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you? Everybody okay? All right. I want to discuss about our midterm. You know, the first half of the semester is 8 weeks. So this week will be the last semester, not the last semester, the last week of the first half. Next week we have a break, okay? 27, 11 until 5th of December. You have the semester break. After that, we will have another week. Apa lagi? Oh, semester ni 16 weeks. Bapak lah panjang lah. Hey, is this right? Or is my calendar outdated?
Yes, sir.
16 weeks. This semester, you have 16 weeks. I thought, 8 weeks, first half, 1 week break, and then we have after 8 plus 6. I thought after that, you got 6 weeks. So total 14 weeks. But actually, this semester, 8 weeks. So total 16 weeks. Okay? 16 minggu. Holiday pula. 18 minggu semester. Weh. 2 minggu lebih tu. Panjang lah. Betul 16 minggu Alright. If that is true, kejut kat saya. Baru ni saya perasan. I always assume it was like we have 6 more weeks after the break. So if we have 8 more weeks, then tak payah bimbang lah. Oh, macam ni. 8 weeks break. So after the break, all right, after the break, so we will have our test either the first week after the break. So this is after break. After break. After the break, either you have it week 9. Okay, I don't. This does not include the holiday. Okay, holiday doesn't. The break doesn't take into account. So this is just our lecture week. So either we have the test week 9 or week 10. All right, either one of these. Because we have 8 more weeks to go. So we have time. 8 minggu. Apa saya panjang semester ni? Pasal 8 minggu. Anybody knows why is it 18 weeks? Kalau the semester 1 nanti tu, semester 2 kemudian semester 2 after this, 18 minggu, 16 minggu kan? If you look at the second semester, second semester 8 dengan 6. So we back at 14 weeks. Pening lah UIA ni. Kalau dah buat 16, baik buat 15. Semester ni 15, second sem 15, barulah balance. Ini dihentam je 16, 14 balik. Itu pelik. Apa saya dia buat itu? Pening lah orang. Alright, so you got 16 weeks. Okay, 16 weeks. And then our midterm will be either week number 9 or week number 10. Okay, so either 9 or 10 lah. Get ready lah. Okay, today what I want to cover, we want to do the second derivative test for maximum or minimum Okay, second derivative test. Oh, tadi saya tak share screen. Lupa nak share screen. Inilah dah. Okay, so week 9 or week 10, we will have our midterm. Okay, all right. Any question? Anything?
Sir,
Yeah.
will till which chapter?
Itu nanti week 9 kita cakap lah.
Okay.
Sekarang ni tak tahu lah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
The coverage will be until what we cover week 9. So if we have the test at week 9, week 10, katakan test kat sini kan, coverage tu up to here lah. Week 9, I will inform you. So probably the test will be week 10 lah kot. 2 weeks after the break. I need to finish up the current chapter. Okay, so that our test will include the whole of this topic. Okay. So we will be informed of the coverage when the time comes. So let's look at the second derivative test. Now, if you look at derivative, we go back to chapter number 9. You see in chapter 9, section higher order derivative. So we will start there. Higher order derivative. It's 9 point. I thought 9.7, 9.8. 9.8. All right. So you can see 9.8. You have the higher order derivative. So that will be our starting point. So what we're going to do today, we're going to look at the second derivative test. The second derivative test for maximum or minimum. In order to do that, we have to know what is the second derivative. So second derivative, we are going to look at 9.8. So go back to 9.8. We will discuss the higher order derivative. Now, you look at the function y equal to f of x, you have the derivative. Now, the derivative, we call it first derivative. Since this is the first derivative, we just call it the derivative. That will be y prime, f prime of x. Now, this y prime is a function. Okay, y prime is a function. Here, f prime is the function of x. So therefore, what we can do? We can take derivative of what? Of y prime. So you take derivative of y prime, what do I get? Macam ni lah. This is your parents, this is your father. This is you, okay? This is parents. So you can also be differentiated. That means you get cucu, okay? So second derivative is the derivative of the derivative. So you take derivative of y prime, you got y double prime. So that is the derivative of u, okay? Derivative of u is your parents, cucu. So y double prime equal to f double prime of x. Or we can also write as simply f prime, or write it as d2y dx squared. So this is the second derivative. We call it second derivative. So this is the test that we're going to use, the second derivative. Okay, the derivative of the derivative. The y double prime is also a function. Okay, so we will continue to take the derivative of the function. So we differentiate y double prime. Okay, so if we differentiate y double prime, what do we get? we get cicit y triple prime. Okay, y triple prime. And we can continue. Okay, we continue to have the fourth derivative, fifth derivative, all the way until the function cannot be differentiated anymore. So we will continue. Okay, we'll continue until you can't. Okay, you can't differentiate anymore. So that is the derivative. That is the second, the third, the fourth, and so on. All right. So that is what we call the higher order derivative. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you some examples. So let me get that thing. 9.8. All right, so I will show you a few examples. Actually, this example in the book. Let's start with example number 1. For the second derivative, okay, example number 1. We have the function here. All right, y here, that function. So what you want to do is find the second derivative. So when you want to find the second derivative, you just cannot get the second derivative right away. We must go through the process of doing the first derivative and then second derivative and so on. So what you do here, in order to get the second derivative, we have to get the first derivative. So you differentiate y. All right. What do we get? We get y prime, which is equal to this thing here. Okay. Now, you take derivative of y double prime. All right. So if you do that, then you don't worry about the first function. Okay. Just worry about the y prime. Differentiate y prime. So what do we get? You get 12x squared, and then here negative 6x, derivative is 6. And then here you got what? I got negative 2, you bring down the negative 3, becomes 6, and then the power reduced by 1, I got x to the power of negative 4. So that is the second derivative of what? Of y. All right, that's the second derivative of y. But it is the derivative of what? That's the derivative of y prime. It's like that's the choo-choo of your parents, but what? But it's your children. Okay, so second derivative is the derivative of y prime. It's the second derivative of y, the first function. Okay, this y prime, y double prime, I'm sorry, this y double prime or f double prime of x is a function. It's here that depends on x. So what you do, I can differentiate. So I want you to continue getting the derivative. So next one is you differentiate y double prime, I get y third prime, the third derivative. So can you do the third derivative? Just differentiate y double prime. Can I get the derivative of y double prime? Okay, you got it? First person who got it, let me know. Anybody got it already?
24x negative 24 power of negative 5.
Negative 24, where is the x? You must also say
X,
x
sorry.
to the power of negative 5. So you take derivative of y double prime. All right. So I will just write down here. So the derivative y double prime, or you can write f double prime of x, that is equal to what? Derivative of y double prime. There you get 24x, -6 is a constant, and then 6 times -4, that is -24. Reduce the power by 1, that you get -5. Now, it's a function. So I can still continue. All right. So I can do the derivative, fourth derivative. So if you take the derivative of y triple prime, what do we get? I get 24 plus 24 times 5. 24 times 5 apa ya? 24 times 5 apa? Like that. 24 times 5, 20.
120.
120. Thank you. 120. 120 x to the power of -6. And this is a function. I can continue. Okay? So you continue until I cannot differentiate. So how many derivatives can I take here for this function? Until to what derivative? Until I cannot take derivative anymore. Sampai bila ni boleh derivative? Boleh take derivative for this function? To what level of derivative can we do for this function? Okay, function ni sampai bila ni? Sampai bila pula? Sampai level berapa? Cepat-cepat. Kalau kita ambil derivatif ni,
Infinity.
sampai kiamat. Boleh. Okay, you don't do anything. You just do the derivative until you old, you die. Your children can continue to do the derivative. All right, because it's a negative function. Negative power, you can continue boom, 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 boom until negative infinity. So I don't know. Okay, it can be infinitely many. All right, so infinitely many. But to us, okay, for us, the most important derivative is the first and the second. All right, we will do, second, and of course the first we already did, and maybe sometimes you do the third derivative, but not necessarily up to here. We don't really deal with it. All right, okay. So let's look at another example just to get familiar with this. So this is example number 2. Okay, this is example number 2. This one is a little bit more definite in terms of how many times can we take the derivative. All right, so let's do this. First derivative and x squared. Mana dia? Function. Function dia. Okay, you look at part B. You have this function here. Okay, you have this function. And then you take the derivative of this function. What do we get? Okay, you do it now. Do the first derivative of 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus 5. Okay, what do we get? Okay, you got it? Okay. So what you get is 9x squared minus 3x. Take the derivative. Okay, take the derivative of f prime. We call it second derivative of y, or f of x. That is y double prime, or f double prime. Or we can also use d2y dx squared. But we use a more simplified symbol. So the simplest one is y double prime, or f double prime. So you take derivative of f prime, what do I get? I get this, 18x minus 8. And that is the function. Okay? Now take derivative of that function. What do I get? 18x minus 8. What is the derivative? Okay, what do you get? Derivative of 18x minus 8.
18.
18 is a function. Okay, 18 is a function. So you take derivative of 18. You take derivative is the function is 18. If the function is 18, you take the derivative. What do we get?
0.
Zero. Okay, when you reach 0, that's the end. Okay, so don't continue anymore taking derivative when you reach 0. So that will be the highest derivative available. Okay, so you when you reach 0 tu habis ya, ayolah continue lagi. Okay, so that is the higher order derivative. So nothing much, because once we know the first derivative, the other parts of derivative or the other level derivative, kacang. Okay, will be very easy. And when you do this higher order derivative, you apply all the same rules. Okay, all the rules are the same. All the same rule. All the rules apply. Okay, rules of derivative that we learned earlier will apply. So we don't need any new rules. We just apply the same rules. Okay, all right. So that is 9.8. I don't. 9.8 probably if you want to practice, I'll give you some questions. 9.8. You can do question number 1, number 4. Okay, number 1, number 4, and then number 8, 9. All right, 9. Cukup. 8, 9. Okay, I will give you one question. Do question number. Okay, do question number 14. All right, do it now. For number 14, find the first derivative and then second derivative. That's it. Okay, do number 14 now. Okay, you got it? What is, you got the second derivative? Okay, first person to get that second derivative, let me know. Go to that. Come on, everybody got it? Not everybody lah. Anybody got it? Yeah. Yes or no? Dah. So what is y prime? Y prime is 4x cubed plus 1/3 x. You reduce the power by 1 from 1/3. I get negative 2/3. Correct. Okay. Now, what is the second derivative? It will be 12x squared. Okay. What is the derivative for the second one? So I got what? I got 1/3 multiplied by negative 2/3. And then x you reduce by 1 from 2/3, from negative 2/3. So that will be negative 5/3. That is second derivative. Multiply all only. Okay, so you got negative 2/9. Okay, any question? Any comment? Anything? Okay, all right. So now, okay, we move on to 10.1. That would be on the second derivative test. The first part is what we were doing last time, the first derivative test. Then we are going to look at the second derivative test. So we are making use of the second derivative to determine, whether the function has a maximum or minimum at the critical point. So we already learned the first derivative test. So if we know the first derivative test, there will be no problem, doing the second derivative test. All right. Now this is the second derivative test. Okay, we consider a function. Okay, consider a function y equal to f of x, and assume that function here is, of course, differentiable. That means we can differentiate. Okay, number one, what we do first, we find the critical point. Okay, find critical point or point. That would be taking the first derivative. So in other words, you get y prime equal to f prime of x. And then for critical point, set y prime equal to 0. All right. So you set y prime equal to 0, or you get the derivative, you get the critical point. Say critical point is x star y star. Okay, you have the critical point. Now, number two, what you do, you take the second derivative of the function. Okay, take the second derivative of y equal to f of x. Now, what do I get? I get y double prime equal to f double prime of x. So you take the second derivative. Our focus will be on the second part. That is on the second derivative. All right. Okay. Now the second derivative, as we know, is the function. So what you do here, you will relate. Okay. You will relate the critical point to the second derivative. Okay. All right. Are you done? I finished? I want you to write. Okay. I want you to write. Okay. Are you done? Oh, not yet. If you are not yet, I will wait for you. Finish?
Done,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Good. So now what you do, at the critical point, we will focus on the second derivative. So at the critical point, which is x star y star, we evaluate y double prime equal to f prime of x. Now I will use f double prime because I want to relate to the x star. Okay, number one, A. If f double prime, of course, I can also use y, okay? I can also use y. If f double prime or y double prime, I use f double prime because I want to relate right direct to the x star. Okay, if f double prime and x star, you evaluate, meaning you get a value. Okay, when you evaluate, you get a value. Now, what kind of, what categories of value are we going to get? If you get a value, let's say y double prime is equal to 10, equal to -5, equal to 2.6. Normally, okay, what categories of these values can we categorize the value into? General category. What categories do we normally have? Tadi saya ada 59, 58. Okay, and then 4 more coming. So that 4% coming, you are already half an hour late. If you come in half an hour late, you will not get what we started with. So that is important. You come, at the beginning of the class, not half an hour late. If my class is face to face, half an hour late, I will not let you in. Okay, I will not let you in. After 15 minutes, nobody come in. But since this is online class, internet problem sometimes, I will let people come in anytime you like. But if you are 1 hour, half an hour late, that is bad. That's bad habit. Okay, so come back to here. If you have the values of this y double prime, what categories do we normally consider? This is a general category. It's not specific for this one. Normally, what category do we do? Macam ni. You have -6, -5, -2.3. Lepas tu you got 1.2, 3, got 5, you got 100. Okay, normally kalau macam ni, what category do you want to categorize generally? Zero. Okay. Normally kita kategori macam mana? Kategori apa? We categorize into what? Into one category is what? Is positive. Bigger than zero. One other category? Less than zero. The other category? Equal to zero. Okay? Tentunya. So if f double prime at x star ada orang berbincang macam rumah tu. So I hope that doesn't disturb, because maybe they are repaired. Now, if f double prime at x star is positive, bigger than zero, then we conclude that the function y equal to f of x has has a relative, sometimes we don't have to say that word relative, has a minimum at x equal to x. All right, at x star. And more specifically, the critical point is x star, y star. Okay, all right. So if it is bigger than zero, the value of the second derivative at that critical point, you have a minimum. Okay, that is the first possibility. The second possibility, if y double prime at the critical point at x star is less than zero. So what? So we have the function y equal to f of x has a relative maximum at x equal to x star, specifically at the critical point, x star, y star. Okay? Okay. Okay, part C. If y double prime at the x star equals 0, okay, equals 0, no conclusion. No conclusion. Sometimes it can be, we can have an inflection point. Okay, we may have, but inflection point, we will check afterwards. So this one is not that important. The most important part would be A and B. If it is 0, then we just say no conclusion. That's it. Okay, we stop there. All right. If you have positive or negative, then we have a case. It's either you have a minimum or we have a maximum. Okay. Okay. Any question? So this is the test. We make use of the second derivative. So this test actually is more compact. It's more efficient. If you compare to the first derivative, then you have to break into intervals, then you have to see how the y prime and the y relate, and then you sketch the graph, then you can conclude whether it's a maximum or minimum. Now, with the second derivative, you don't need to do all that, okay? We can achieve the same conclusion by just doing the second derivative test. Okay, all right. So let's look at one of the examples. Now go back to the. Okay, I need to look at example here. So we need to look at 10.1. So let me see 10.1. Okay, 10.1. Kita go to use a simple example dulu. Tengok 10.2. Aduh. Itu tadi. Okey, tak payah. Kita tak payah tengok benda ni lah. I'll give you one example. All right. So example, tak ada pula jalan tu. So example 1, suppose I have a function y equal to m of x equal to negative x squared plus 6x minus 20. Okay, suppose I have this function. Now I want to use the second derivative, find maximum, minimum points. In other words, does the function has a maximum or minimum at the critical points? Okay, at the critical point or points. So what you do the second derivative test. All right. So I have the function here. So firstly, what we do the first derivative. All right. So number 1, you take the derivative. So I got y prime equal to f prime of x equal to what? Equal to negative 24. Negative 2x plus 6. Okay. And then for critical point, what do? We set that to 0. For critical point, y prime equal to 0. So therefore, negative 2x plus 6 equal to 0. What do I get? I get x equal to 6 over 2. Betul tak? 6 over 2 equal. So that is our critical value of x. Call it x star. Okay, itu x star. equal to x star. So you need to find y star. Okay, now how do you get y star? Okay, I want you to find y star. Okay, you do it now. I'll give you 1 minute. Find the value of y at that critical point. Okay, what do you get? First person to get, let me know. Okay, what is y star?
Is it 7, sir?
7.
Everybody got 7? Or somebody else get another value?
Yeah, 7.
Okay, so 7. So at y star, 7. Okay, so you need to find y star that is equal to 7. How do you get it? You substitute x star equal to 3 into, no, you don't substitute into y prime. You substitute into the function, okay? The original function you get. So our critical point is, I just write down here, critical point is 3, 7. So we know the critical point is there, 3, 7. You can imagine the location of the point. All right, so at that point, it's either maximum or minimum. Okay, now in order to establish maximum or minimum, what you need is, I need y double prime. So you take the derivative of the function. So y double prime or f double prime of x, that will be equal to what? You get the y prime negative 2x plus 6. So what is the second derivative? Just negative 2. Now that is the constant function. Okay, so in order for us to test maximum minimum, you have to do it at what? At x star equal to 3. So at x equal to 3, which is our critical point, you have y double prime or f double prime at 3 is a constant function. So easy, you know, just negative 2. And now negative 2, less than 0 or negative. Okay, less than 0 or negative. So what? So the function has a relative what? Relative maximum or minimum? Maximum. At 3, 7. So now you know at that point, 3, 7, it's a maximum. Okay, it's a maximum. And the function is a quadratic function. We learned from earlier, I know quadratic function, there is only one maximum, one minimum. All right, because there were 2 intervals. If you remember the first derivative test, quadratic function, you have 2 intervals. So based on that, you learn already how the function looks like. So you sketch the graph. You have x, y, 0, 3, 7. You know, 3, 7. You will be somewhere 3, 7, somewhere there. Okay, so that is 3, 7. So the maximum. So maximum, how does it look like? There is only one maximum. So it will go like this. Then to left. So that is the function y equal to negative 2x squared plus 6x minus 20. All right, and yeah, you have a maximum. Okay, all right. So I give you another example. So we call this example 2. Okay, example 2. Suppose I have y equal to 5x squared plus 100x plus 7. Okay. I want you to find, okay, maximum or minimum, and then you sketch the graph using the second derivative. Okay, I give you 5 minutes. You got it? Do we have a maximum or minimum for this function? Maximum or minimum? Anybody? Siapa yang dapat lah? Siapa yang tak dapat tu jawab.
Minimum.
Minimum. Anybody got maximum? So we should have a minimum, all right? So you look at that function. First, you get the y prime, all right? What is y prime? Y prime is 10x plus 100. You set that y prime equal to 0 for critical point. Okay, so what do I get? It will be 10x plus 100 equal 0. So x equal to negative 100 over 10. That is negative 10. We can call it x star. Okay, what is the value of y star? Just inform me. What do I get? I don't want to find it. X star, y star apa ya?
I got negative 493.
Negative 493. Betul ya? Okay, somebody approve. Betul ke tak betul ni?
Yes.
Okay, good. So our critical point would be at negative 10, negative 493. So you imagine somewhere down there, you know, the critical point. Now, you take the second derivative. Y double prime is equal to 10. Now, that's a constant function. So, you know, it will be a straightforward thing. But just to make it formal, you have to evaluate. Okay, evaluate lah. X equal to negative 10. Y double prime is equal to 10. And that is positive. So what? So the function has a relative. Sometimes you don't have to put the word relative. Minimum. Okay, minimum. At that critical point. At negative 10, negative 493. Okay, so that is a minimum there. So you sketch the graph. All right, you don't have to draw the graph, just sketch the graph to show the critical point. And then you have a minimum, then you just extend the curve. All right, so would be something like this. I have negative 10, will be somewhere here, or kita ada negative. So I draw one more time. I draw toward, you know, we show more of the negative. So negative 10, negative 493 will be somewhere jauh. Okay. Ke bawah. So that is our critical point. And here you have a minimum. So that's lowest point, minimum. So just extend it like that. So that is y equal to 5x squared plus 100x plus 7. Tapi tak ikut ni. Dia y-intercept to be 7 sama-sama dia. Okay. Tapi imagine lah 7. So dia patutnya sini lagi. Tapi tak apalah. We actually here I don't need the exact y-intercept. Okay, but if you look at the value here, y-intercept ni sepatutnya sini. Tapi tak apa. Alright. We just need the shape of the graph. Okay. So this is a very raw. Okay, very raw. So if you do it more accurately, you get the y-intercept should be somewhere here. That means you move it sini kot. Mungkin dapat lah gitu macam tu. Alright. But we don't need that thing. We just need the general shape. So that will be fine. Okay, all right. Now, suppose there are more than 2 critical points. If you have 2 or more, okay, 2 or more critical points, then you have to do the test for each. Okay, do the test for each of them. All right. That means you do for the first point, and then we do the same test for the other. Okay. So if you have 2 critical points, then you have to go for each of them. Okay. All right. So I will give you here another example. I'll give you another example to, this example, you have 2 critical points. Sudah. Kita nak cari one function. No. Sekejap saya tengok. Ada few examples. Just 1 minute. I'm trying to get one function. Okay, this one is good. You go to 10.1. Okay, you do number 7. Okay, question number 7. You just find maximum, minimum. Okay, maximum, minimum, and then try to sketch the graph. Okay, for this question number 7, it's a cubic function. So you will have 2 critical points. So here you have 2 critical points. You will do the test for each of them. Okay, so I want you to do that question number 7. Okay, do it now. Okay, I want you to get the critical points, and then we will check whether you have a maximum or minimum at that critical point. Okay, I give you more questions on 10.1, the homework questions. You are doing now 7, all right? So you do number 8. Yes, number 8. And then number 11. (16), 17. And then (21), 22. Okay. So these are all good questions, all right? You have cubic questions, cubic functions, and then you have quadratic. So good combination. So if you want to do some of this, all right, if you want to do some, if you don't want to do all, you do some. But you do some quadratic, all right, some cubic. Okay, jangan buat kuadratik ya, buat ini. So that's homework question. Okay, we go step by step. Now, have you got the critical points? Okay, you got critical points? Anybody get critical point? Let me know. The first person who get the critical point. Okay, what are they? You should have 2 critical points. What are the critical points? If you have 1, let me know. What is the critical point? Okay, first one. What is it?
Yeah.
Ya, apa? Okay, Firdaus. Ulang, saya tak dengar.
The
0 and 4.
0 and 4. So 0 and 4. So one critical point is 0, x equal to 0. The other critical point, x equal to 4. Is that right? Okay. So let's see. So first what you do, okay, you get the critical points. So you get y prime that is equal to 6x squared minus 24x. Betul tak? Minus 24x, eh? 24x, okay. So set that to 0 for critical points. 4 points. Then what I have is 6x squared minus 24x equal 0. So what you have here is, you do this because you have x here, you got x, all right? So here you have to factor out the x. So you factor out 6x, and then I have 6, and then I got x minus 4 equal 0. Okay, you have x and x. So you don't do this. Okay, we tend to do this. You got 6x squared equal to 24x. Then you got what? I got x squared equal to 4x. Then x equal to 4. So that is not how you do it. That's wrong. Because I have x on both sides. All right. We only do that if there is a constant. If you have x on both sides, you should factor it out. Okay, you have to find the roots. Okay, or factor. So if you do that, you only got 4. You don't get that 0. So you have to factor out. We can only do this because if there is only a constant. Suppose I got 6x squared equal to 24. then you can do that. Okay, then it's all right. So now what you do here, you will get x equal to 0. Okay, for 6x equal to 0. That means x equal to 0. Okay, for the second one, I got x minus 4 equal to 0. Is x equal 4. So you have two critical values of x. So for each of these, right, for each of these, you have to find y, okay, y star. And for here, you need also to find the value of y. So that is our critical point number 2. Okay, anybody get the value of y at x equal to 0? Okay, if you got it, let me know. Berapa? 6. Okay, 6. Betul 6. That is 1. Okay, y when x equal to 4, anybody got it?
Negative 58.
Negative 58. Betul ya?
C.
Betul, negative 58. Ke ada orang dapat betul lain?
Betul.
Betul. Okay, bagus. So now, continue. You go second derivative. All right. Now, when you do the second derivative, you have to do it twice. Okay. First, x equal to 0. Conclude. Okay. And then you do repeat the test for the x equal to 4. And then see the conclusion. So you do the test per, okay, per each critical point. All right. So get the second derivative, and then whether you have a maximum or minimum at those critical points. All right. So what is the second derivative? The second derivative, y double prime, you will get what? You will get 12x minus 24. Okay, is that right? You got it? Okay, so now that is the second derivative. So you evaluate at each of the point. So we do one at a time. So we do for the first one, all right? So let's say you call the first critical point, just call it x1, okay? So you got x1, y1, katakan x1, y1. The first critical point you call x1, y1 sebab ada 2. That will be 0, 6, okay? So x1 equal to 0. Okay, then you y double prime. Okay, anybody who get the value of y double prime at x equal to 0? What is it? And then conclude whether we have a maximum or minimum. Okay, 0, maximum or minimum? The first person who get it, let me know. And then we will do it together. So don't worry whether it is right or wrong.
Maximum.
Maximum. So we get maximum at 0, 6. Okay, let's see. So at x1 equal to 0, I have y double prime equal to 12 multiplied by 0 minus 24. That is equal to negative 24. Now you don't conclude right away. Okay, you have to say that is negative, that's less than 0. Then only you conclude. So what? So now since it's negative, so y has a maximum, okay, at that point 0. So that is number 1. So normally when you have this kind of function, you have a maximum, the other one should be minimum lah. Sebab dia curve, kan? Okay, for the second point, at x2 equal to 4. All right. So y double prime equal to 12 times 4 minus 24. That is equal to 24. Don't conclude yet. Make it bigger than 0 or positive. Then we conclude. So y has a minimum. Okay. Minimum at 4, negative 58. So you see here, you have one maximum, one minimum. At 0, 6, so you can imagine location of 0, 6 up there. All right, 0, 6, you have a maximum. And then at 4, negative 58, down bottom there, you have a minimum. So you locate the points roughly on the graph, and then make it into a curve. All right. Okay. So everybody done here? All right. Good. Okay. So let us sketch the graph. So you have. I think I'm going to buat tengah-tengah lah. Tengah-tengah sikit lah. So 1 point is 0, 6. 0, 6 is 0, 0, 6 sama here lah. Okay, 0, 6. The other point is 4, negative 58, 4, negative 58, 4, negative 58, kata sama here. Alright. So sini. Here you have a maximum. Alright, here minimum. Sambung je cantik. Okay. The problem is to sambung dia cantik sikit tu masalah dia. Mungkin you buat scale X to besar sikit lah. So buat gitu, buat gini, dan buat gitu, cantik lebih kurang. Okay, so that is the curve will look something like that. Contoh. So that is our function. So that is y equal to apa-apa lah. Okay, for that function. So you have a maximum at 0, 6. So you have a maximum there. All right, and then you have a minimum there. So the graph look like this. So cubic function, okay, cubic function. Generally, you have two critical points. One maximum, one minimum. Okay, so here you have a maximum, minimum. And of course, you can work the other way around also. You have minimum, maximum. Okay, all right. Ada question apa-apa? So today, okay, we spend the period on this thing here. I have a few minutes. So, you know what? I would like to look at me. I look at your attendance. Okay, I want to discuss about your name and attendance. So don't go away yet. Okay, stay. I want to mention mention a few things. Okay, ini dia benda ni, dekat sikit. Attendance, basically attendance okay lah. But there are people who come half an hour balik, you know, so kita boleh buat apa? Kalau dah perangai macam tu, I cannot do anything. Okay, so you continue with your that I cannot do anything. Now I want to mention I have I want to show you one. Selalunya ada kat sini. Tak ada orang. Saya rasa ada je kat sini selalu. Masa kita nak jumpa, tak ada orang. Itu ada. Okay, I want to show you. Okay, this is one person. Ini, okay. Saya tak tahu apa. You know, if your name, he just come for 1 minute. So I consider this guy doesn't exist. Tak tahu macam mana dia boleh masuk kat sini. But I don't know. He just put Ar-Razan. Siapa benda Ar-Razan? So that is one example. If you are here, all right. If you are here, you come for only 1 minute. I think you better drop lah. Okay, drop the cost. Tak payah. You know, you better drop the cost. You come for 1 minute, and then your name, I don't know what the hell is your name. So that's one. Okay. Okay. You know, there was one person, you know, probably dekat sini dia dah ubah dah. Ni no, siapa? No Farahin. Okay, 1 minute. Ni apa? 1 minute. So I hope by now, okay, this is 27 of October. I make that announcement. I hope, all right. I hope for November attendance, you already put your section number lah. Okay. Here ni mungkin tak ada section number lagi. I hope for November you already put the section number. Sekejap, saya tengok sini. one student, the name is just question mark. So I do not know. All right, I do not know what is your name. Maybe not this section code. Maybe the other section. No problem. Yeah. All right. Ini lagi, ini lah problem ni budak ni. Ilmi. Okay. That's why your attendance is 0. Because I cannot locate Hilmi itu siapa benda Hilmi itu apa benda Hilmi. I said put your full name, not your simple name. And this is another guy. B0120 ni apa benda? Ini tak tahulah. Nak kata otak ada, otak tak ada, saya tak tahu. Cakap berapa kali lah. Put your full name. Ni pergi letak dalam tu. Ni usaha saja. Okay. So this guy, and then that 020. So if your attendance are not recorded, that means your name is not understandable. I don't understand what is your name. This is not a secret. You are not secret something. Okay, ni lagi seorang ni. Ni siapa benda ni? Okay, ni C pula ni. One apa benda? There are many one in this class. Okay, if just say one and then give the number, who should I know? All right. So if your names are like this, that means your attendance, I will not take your attendance, right? Because mana saya tahu. So I think I make myself clear. Okay, so that happened in October lah. October, I make the reminder October. But I hope by November, okay, this is November. I just have record November sehari je. Okay, so by this time, people still do not have the section number. So probably I have to check lah attendance. Apa nama tu? Attendance for after that. Macam mana, Rian? Section 12. Datang ke sini. Aduh, faham ke tak faham ni? Saya pun tak tahu lah. Section 12 datang sini. You are not section 12. I don't teach section 12. My section is 7, 8, and 11. Okay, but by now, your names are already full. That's good. But maybe the section number tu belum masuk lagi. Okay, ini je lagi tinggal. Haziq. What is Haziq? I don't know Haziq. Ada berapa Haziq kat sini? Muhammad ke Ahmad ke? Alright, you are not the prime minister. If you are the prime minister, if you say Ismail Sabri, saya tahulah. Okay, so benda ni betul-betul lah, Ni lagi seorang, Razan ni, ini Razan ni daripada dulu lagi buat panggil. So if your attendance are not recorded, that means your name is either in numbers or your name is symbol that I cannot block, I cannot trace. Okay, so that's your fault, not my fault. So if you receive, okay, you think that if you do the homework and I check your attendance are not there, so your homework will not be accepted. All right. So how come you don't come to my class and then you do the work? That shouldn't be the case. All right. So if your names are the ones that I saw here, I label here, yang nombor-nombor tu tadi, okay, let me know. Okay, let me know. Because as of now, if your names are like that, saya tak faham lah, that is my mistake. That really, I don't want to say. Okay, I say, if I say, it's not good. Okay, because I remind a few times already. Tapi masih lagi ada perangai macam ni. So saya tak faham. Okay, so I think you are big enough already. So it's up to you lah. If you want to continue with that thing, go ahead. But if your work is not recorded, then that's your problem. Okay, so please, okay, I say it now again, check your name, make sure you have the first name, second name. The third name is not there, that's fine. All right, and then for attendance, here, if you haven't done it yet, put the section number lah. But I think Mungkin sini belum lagi lah. I didn't tell you here, I tell you afterwards. So I would like to see those section at least follow this one parah. Okay, dah letak dah series 7. So benda-benda tu lah, it's not too difficult to do, and that will help a lot. Okay, so I hope. But in terms of names, 99% good by this date. All right, I'm happy. Cuma section number tu lah, section number tu mungkin I haven't made the announcement yet at this time. But ni lah ni, siapa ni? 35084 benda ni, askar ke apa? Ini bukan sini, okay? If you continue to do this, drop the cost. All right, I don't want you here. Okay, all right, good. So that is regarding attendance, and also there is also issue in the classroom. Okay, classroom. Your name, a few people, one or two, you don't put your full name. So I have problem recording your mark. So you check your classroom again. For those people who have not put the full name, please do that. Okay. Your first name, second name lah. Okay. All right. So I want to make sure that your marks will be recorded accordingly, according to the points. And then based on attendance, you're attending and then you do the work. So if you do like this, macam ni budak ni, your attendance are not recorded and then you do the work, then how come? Okay, how come you do the work without attending? So the issue will come up. Okay, so please do the necessary things and do it right. Okay, not all of you. Okay, just one or two people. At this level, there are only one or two people. Yang kepala batu tu. Sama dia tak faham cakap Inggeris ke atau apa benda, tak boleh cakap Melayu. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay, today is Monday. We are done with the test, all right, the second derivative test. Wednesday, we will continue with the application. So Wednesday, then I think they apply. So make sure, okay, by Wednesday, we already, you already know the test, okay? Do a few questions, familiarize with the test, because Wednesday, we're going to application. Okay? So this is very important. I am telling you, this is very important. So if you have a problem with this, all right, go through the notes, discuss with a friend, and inshallah will be okay. Just spend time. Okay, what we need is just spend a little bit time, a little bit more time. Okay, all right. So I will see you again. I'll see you again on Wednesday. Have a nice time studying. I will see you again. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Waalaikumsalam.
you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You, sir.
Salam, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. I'll see you. Wait, betul.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Sir.
Yep.
Untuk apa? Soalan exercise 10.1 nombor 8. Saya dah buat first derivative.
Okay.
Lepas tu dia dapat quadratic function.
Okay.
Lepas tu untuk kan kita akan dapat dua nilai x kan? Tapi dua-dua nilai x tu sama.
Oh, iya ke?
Ha.
Kalau dia sama, if it is the same, you get the nilai y. Nilai y pun sama.
Nilai y sama sebab x sama.
Then you do the test once lah. Because
Buat satu test je.
sebab dia same. Okay. Sebab dia steam air. Nanti saya cuba tengok. Jarang jadi macam tu. That's a bad question. You know, if you have the two critical points, both are the same. Maybe you need to draw the code. Tapi tak apalah. You do as it is. Okay. Question nombor apa tadi? Nombor 8 ni? Okay.
10.1.
Nanti saya cuba tengok. Saya cuba buat. Okay. And then Wednesday nanti kita tengok. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Saya tak pernah jumpa lagi critical point yang sama. Okay, kita check. Ataupun you do again. You silap ke apa. Okay, check balik.
Okay.
Okay, right. Okay, thank you.